Welcome into balanced blood sugars to flat belly and energy. Really, truly to live present in daily life. It is a challenge to have a balance in losing weight, bringing up the energy, and really feeling like each conversation you have that you are really present. Really funny story is when I was a CPA working in the office, I really would be in conversation and people would have to repeat themselves because I was so used to being able to, watch TV and be able to DVR it because I would rewind if I wasn't concentrating. So at some point before I started my business, I was having a hard time concentrating myself. So today I'm going to give you tips and tricks of stuff that I've learned. I'm going to give you really good information that's going to help you really take a platform on where you are now, being able to evaluate it using the diagnostic tools, which I use for my clients, and have a plan by the time you're done. Hopefully you've already received the wonderful book that I put together for you, and it's your Power Play book. And it's something that is going to keep you in action and moving forward. So I'm hoping that you have that. You can keep it open in a window, or you may have already printed it up. But welcome in today. Very happy to have you here. What you'll need today is a mirror or a phone. You're going to want to be able to look at yourself. There's one part in here where I'm going to be threading through some of the diagnostic tools. And this one, when you're using the mirror, it's going to really surprise you on some of the stuff that you see. When I started using these diagnostic tools, I started looking at myself and realized that even though I was eating healthy in the mindset of healthy, I realized that there were some things I wasn't doing to take care of certain organs, which we're going to talk about today, or feeling fatigue and what's the next steps you can do. So make sure you have a mirror or a phone to be able to really look at yourself. Number two, you really want your Healthy Power Play workbook. It's been laid out so that you can have more interaction with what's happening today. You can take notes. And if you don't have it, just get a piece of paper and a pen because you will want to be writing some notes. Because when you have an aha, the best thing to do is write it down right away so that you can look back and remind yourself what you learned here, what got you excited to move forward. And so as the days go on, you don't forget because it's so easy to forget. Have you ever been to a movie theater and you were just so moved by the movie, and then come, an hour later, you're back to what I call like your old ways. Like you were motivated for a moment there and everything just felt like the whole world was easier. You just made this big change and you never did. So this Power Play book is going to help you stay focused. So make sure you have that. Also, you know what? My whole world is about action and results and moving forward. And so I want you to have that mindset today. The more that you can think of yourself as you're going through this journey with me today, and you're really reevaluating what's going on, that you're going to start feeling like you want to take action, and you're looking for those results. That's the only way to step into a workshop like this, because I'm telling you, by the time you leave, I promise you, you'll have your own personal plan. And you're also going to learn how you can even work with me. If you've been watching the videos, you see how I coach, and the stuff I'm going to be showing you today is all about the stuff that I teach and when I coach. So I'm really happy that you're here. Our focus right now is to get ready for the workshop. So we're just doing a little twisting. Kind of reach your arms up in the air, roll your shoulders back. Now give me 2 big inhales. Just roll the shoulders back, inhale, and exhale. Now let that exhale just touch through the body to relax and open things up. Take a big inhale. Now shake out those arms and exhale. Inspiration. I have a couple quotes today because I live daily inspiration. If I'm not stepping into inspiration, then there's something wrong, a little misstep in my day. So let me bring that to you. Happiness is not the belief that we don't need to change. It's the realization that we can, giving ourselves that open, that, even though I may have been feeling something that's not feeling good about my body, that I have that realization that I can do it. I can make those steps forward. That's Sean Acor. If you ever heard about him, he is just a guy that really, really inspired me to start really looking at, the emotional side of the clients that I was working with, because the more that I understood how we hold ourselves into a place of or a pattern that really doesn't do anything for us for the day. And so when you keep telling yourself I can't do something, or that um, I don't know, there's so many things, so many sabotages of, another one is that I don't have time. I don't have time is a great sabotage to really step into and think about, because if you do have time, then there's a space to be able to make those changes. So it's always being able to make those 1 minute, 3 minute, 10-minute spots where you can make little shifts here and there. So stepping into something like this with me today, yes, it's an hour commitment, but it's recorded. So if you miss some of it, I want you to be able to listen to the whole thing. So it comes into a recording at 2 hours after we're together live. So it's just always finding the space, because the more we can bring energy, the more we're going to do things faster, and the more that we're going to be getting results. So the realization that we can. We're really going to talk about the 5 steps to rid your body of sugar. If you saw video 1, that was one area I was so focused in, because it's real basic stuff. So we're going to get in there. Also, a review of 3 case studies for strategies. I'm going to thread these ladies through along with the diagnostic tools that I used for them. And this will help you, so then you can see what it looks like for somebody that's in a 1-month program, somebody that's been, doing this for a full year, and somebody that's been doing this for 3 years. So you have, the beginnings to getting a little more mature in their progress, to really getting deep and finding ways to keep shifting forward. Even though you lose some of your motivation, you always have to find it and keep moving forward. So the most important thing I want you to get out of this today is that everything that you do, don't always feel like you have to do it 100%. What I mean by that is, when you're doing something, my background is a CPA, so of course you go all out as far as you can, throttle, to make sure that everything is perfect and precise before you do a presentation. When it comes to your health, when it comes to life, sometimes you have to be flexible and have that give. When you're in a program and you're really expecting changes of yourself, I promise you, if you do 70%, don't go back on yourself and be very hard on yourself. Look at the new things that you did, and really look at the healing process that you did along the way. And you're going to learn today that healing is increased energy, starting to look younger, because we're talking about blood sugar balance. If your blood is off, your skin is going to look more wrinkled because you have stickier skin, and we're going to go into that more too. So it's all about little shifts. So stick with me here today, and I want you to really focus on what's important to you today. We're going to talk about facts, and what we're focusing in on is diabetes, because we're talking about sugar. And diabetes too is not truly a family, pass on kind of a chronic disease, but there is such a thing where if you are doing stuff that you did when you were growing up, eating the foods, also if you're a highly stressed person, you can wear on your body. I have 2 clients that have no idea how they got diabetes. And looking at their lifestyle, I see that they're just extremely worry-warts. And that really wreaks havoc on your body, and there's hormonal shifts, and it can throw so much off on your body that you can actually become diabetic. And so the stats I'm going to share with you is basically that you haven't really fully connected with your journey with food, or that you haven't connected with the emotional part, or bringing that all together, and also the workout too. And that the foods that are out there right now, it's so easy to have an imbalance in our body and have big shifts where we do get diabetes. We have already, right now, we're seeing that 10% of our population has been diagnosed with diabetes. So I think it's 30 million. There's a number out there that keeps shifting, because there's ways of finding out that basically there's an estimate out there that some people are diabetic and they don't even know it, and they can have, look on number 4, you can have diabetes for 10 years without even knowing it. So it would be like these symptoms, dry mouth, feeling tired, feeling like your energy is up and down in cycles, not being able to really regulate your temperature in your body. There's a list that goes on and on. And so why I want you to use the diagnostic tools today is because I want you to think about that, even though your doctor has said to you, you are sick or that you are okay. Either way, if you're taking medicine or you're not taking medicine, I want you to listen to your body and think of it as a healing process. If you don't have energy, it's time to heal it. We're going to be using the diagnostic tools today to be able to make those big decisions on what's our next step. And it's going to be basic, so wait till you see what it is, and you're going to be able to connect with how big of a step it's going to be for you to make these little changes. Also, being diabetic, you have double the chance of having a heart attack. So anything with any chronic disease that you're dealing with, your body's inflamed and you're having difficulty with circulation. Diabetes is one of those because it's your body becomes inflamed, and sometimes your body's inflamed constantly and you're not even diabetic. But again, it depends on what you're doing and what's making you inflamed, but you're wearing out your body no matter what. So if you get inflammation throughout the day, you're in the right place. If you have sugar issues or you're eating a lot of packaged stuff, or you're attracted to sugar, with your mochas, or you are eating straight up sugar or chocolate, this is the place. You're in the right place to be. Let's talk about your day, because this is where you're going to notice of the imbalance in your life, and that I'm saying that these are the effects that are going to be what I would call the beginning of an illness. Even though your doctor may say that you're in alignment, with x-rays and blood, checking your blood and all that. So overuse of your organs, it happens when you are dealing with imbalances in your body. And this is going to be one of the diagnostic tools. We're going to be talking about organs. So you're going to be able to connect with what's going on, because you're going to realize, what the kidneys do, and what the liver does and stuff like that. So this is going to be a journey for you to even learn the basics of that, because to understand that is just understanding your body. You don't have to remember this stuff, but you do have your power play book that you can write some notes down, or a piece of paper. Hazy in the head, please, if you have that 3 p.m. slump or you have that mid-morning, I really want you to look at what you're doing in your day, because if your body's tired, that means something is clogging it up. If you can think of your body as an energy cycle, cycling energy from organ throughout the body and coming back through the organ and through the digestion, the whole journey, that it will be affected if you're hazy in the head. And the hazy in the head would be also brain stuff you have to be concerned about. Hungry quick, so maybe you're not doing enough of your fiber. Maybe you're having too high of sugar and you're flipping a switch real quick. And so that would be like hypoglycemia. And I've seen people with a line in between the bridge of their eyes, right there on the nose, and a line that goes straight across left and right, not up and down, or not up and down, but across left and right. That's going to be people that usually have hypoglycemia, where they'll just fluctuate really quick. If they haven't had enough, and it's 4 hours, let's say, and all of a sudden they go into quick crazy hyper mode because they need to eat, or they get very, very angry. So that can happen. So just kind of think when you're looking at yourself, and if you have that line and that happens to you, then that is a connection with an organ having a struggle there. And then also that you want to reach for more food. This is an easy way to gain weight, because you're reaching for more food because you are hungry, or because you ate too much sugar. So then it flipped a switch, and so you're hungry, and then you're reaching for more food. It's so easy to gain weight that way. And let me tell you though, that because of this bad cycle, that you emotionally feel like it is your fault. And I want to talk about this because this is why I have this highlighted, because I work with women, and us women, we can be so hard on ourselves. And it took a while for me to really get that connection with being able to help women, because I'm a woman too, so I would be hard on myself about everything. But what you learn is what you're doing throughout the day is going to chemically shift your body. If you are feeling bad thoughts, it's going to chemically adjust your body. It's going to affect you all the way down to the cell level, because you have hormones, you have different shifts that happen. Your digestion is going to work different. Your circulation in your body may almost like struggle, because you may be pinching your liver because you feel so stressed. Other hand, if you ate something out of a package, you're having a quick day and you're not really digesting your food, and we'll talk about digestion in a little bit, that you could be chemically adjusting your body to where you're craving the food more and more because of these bad shifts that are happening. So this is why you should not feel like it's all your fault for having these crazy cravings, is because once you start listening to your body, you're going to realize that it's not that you're emotionally telling yourself and that you're in control in that capacity of that I want that candy bar, and you're feeling like, I can't believe how weak I am. I want you to take a step back, roll your shoulders back, really think about what you're doing. And the rolling the shoulders back means that you're giving yourself a moment to really think about this, that I want you to be as gentle as you can on yourself, realize that you haven't been eating well, and you have to emotionally connect with that you've affected your body, and that you need to pick up something that you know works for you instantly so you can adjust your system. And you're going to find that that's going to make it easier later in the afternoon and the next day. Your days, what you do now is going to affect you today, it's going to affect you in a week, and it's going to affect you in a month. So it's something that builds and builds, and that's why you can make those small moves, and nothing is going to nothing's going to be affected in a little way. You're going to have these big expansive changes with little changes that happen. So it's not your fault, but mechanically and logically you're going to start learning how to fix things so that you don't feel like you are weak, but you're emotionally very strong. Us women, we are so strong. I can't believe all the stuff that we do, and that's why I love working with ladies, because I get it. I kind of went through my healing process, and I fall back myself, and I have friends that come and help me, and the best thing to do is to communicate and don't try and hide from it. Just a little tidbit there. I guess I went off a little bit there. Okay, so anyway, weight gain, you have premature aging. We talked about the sticky blood, low energy, which affects the pancreas, which this is what's going to happen if you have the ups and downs of your sugar level. Cells are going to get crazy off, and they're not going to look like regular healthy cells. Arthritis, you know what? I've learned about arthritis a little bit more lately, and that is really an autoimmune disease. So rheumatoid arthritis has been connected with an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is when you're not eating the foods that work for you. So we're going to use a diagnostic tool so we know how to look at that and make sure that we make adjustments. Also, muscle pain. Oh my gosh, if you have muscle pain, it's not just from sleeping or working out really hard, unless that happens right after you do something. But if it's something consistent, remember, your whole body is an energy of cycle of energy and fluids moving through the body, and you're probably stuck somewhere. Kidney stones, if that runs in your family, I want you to take a step back and think about that your body is highly acidic. So today we're going to talk about what acidity and alkaline mean, because you need to connect with that and understand, because it's a basic tool to look at for your body. Also, immune deficiency. We are in the flu season. It's probably one of the worst flu seasons in I don't even know to when, but I guess they only captured about 23% of what they should have for this flu virus. You can get a flu shot, and so a lot of people are not healthy, and so they do the flu shot, and they're hoping the flu shot works for them. But I'll tell you what, I have not done a flu shot ever. And to inject yourself with a flu shot, it's a choice. But once you start learning these tools, you're going to start feeling that your digestion is going to work better, and you're going to start talking about, how maybe you don't want to do the flu shot, or that you haven't done the flu shot, and you're going to start realizing how much control you have over yourself and being sick. So we got a lot here. This affects your day a lot. Everybody's digestion is different. So what I'm going to teach you today, what I'm going to show you with Michaela and Colleen and Samantha, is that they went their own way. They went their own specific way that worked for them. And what you're going to learn today, and the way I coach, is that I'm going to give you information. You're going to be able to apply it, and that's going to be individualized for you. So I'm really excited. I hope you can connect with that, because if you eat food and you gain weight really easily, but somebody else doesn't, the way that our food digests really is, if you look at the handprint on your finger, it's as individual as that. So think about that. It just depends on what your body is doing. One really quick thing about eating, though, sometimes you're going to be busy and you're going to be eating on the run, and you're going to be in a hurry, and it is what it is. But For evenings, give yourself time. Go through your digestion process. Allow your mouth and your teeth and your saliva to start the journey of digesting your food. Slow down and do what you need to do to help balance yourself. Is it music? Is it being quiet? Is it just having a lovely, relaxed conversation? If you have young kids, sometimes this is really go, 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 but this is a great time to teach your child about, about enjoying the chewing. And it's really funny because you can start having these great conversations about chewing. You can make them really interested. If they're, a year or two, maybe years old, and maybe it'll take a while, but those are just, a couple of years in our life of, growing, watching our kids grow and having that fast pace. But to be over that hump if you're not now. But as they get older, though, you want to really look at how they're digesting their food too, and that they're not eating and running around while they're eating, but that they're sitting with you, and there's great conversations about that. Jacob and Kirsten, my kids, we talk a lot about interesting but meditation, and we talk about eating your food, and they're really educated because through my coaching I've learned a lot about communicating, and so I want to really give this to you today so that you can start your journey with your family of having these silly conversations that are so important. Not everybody has these type of conversations. It seems like unusual for some people. I know some people in my family, if you listen to video 3 on this, that not all my family's all on board with the holistic approach, but I want to tell you to just step into this because I know that you're here for a purpose. And if some of this you don't connect with yet, I want you to experiment. I want to hear from you on how things work after we go through this journey together today. First case study, Michaela. She's been with me for 1 year. She's a very precious person because she's a person that I could see going really far with her journey. So 1 year is actually pretty young in your journey of consistently trying to make changes. Because I'll show you a 1 month person, which is Colleen. I'll show you kind of the difference. So like a lot of us, and I think probably 99% of us, we use food as comfort. Depends on what your comfort is, but it also depends on your emotional state while you're going through your journey. Michaela, when this picture was taken, she was saying that she ate fast food when she first came in. She was drinking soda every day. If you drink soda, I never like that, 100% or nothing at all, like I said ahead of time. So if you're drinking soda, what you want to do is try and crowd it out. And this is what Michaela did, is that she goes through spurts where she's drinking tons of soda every day. And then she gets back on track again, and she is like, I'm not going to be drinking soda. And she comes through these really big changes. So that's one of the things that she's been able to work through in her weight loss, is that she craves the soda, but she's been able to kind of fluctuate it. And that's what's going to happen. We're talking about for the rest of your life. So this is not perfect. And this is what I love about being able to talk about this, is because when you see, I always see this like before and after pictures. And I've had a hard time really sharing those types of pictures with people because to me, it's not realistic. Realistic is the before and after, and maybe after that again and after that again, because you can have big jumps and look like, and then lose 50 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever. And then you may scale back a little bit because, stress in life, things going on, but then you reconnect and find yourself again. So that's what Michaela has been able to do. And when she was in this state, she wasn't working out very much. She physically felt like she couldn't really work out because she actually has asthma. So she's had an asthma attack when she was in this state. Then also was not feeling very good about herself. Of course, us ladies, we're not going to feel good about ourselves. Even I shouldn't say just us ladies, of course, men too. I've seen men not feel good at all about themselves after gaining weight and not taking care of themselves. But also, you know what? She didn't have a community. So your community, your friends, I want you to kind of think about that, because Michaela felt alone, and now she's has been working with me, and she has a community. And whenever she makes these big changes, she really loves that I blast it out, because the more that it's known and it's out there, the more support she gets. And you know what? That's where your journey is. So how we got Michaela into making these shifts is that the first diagnostic tool that I want to give you is something that's really bizarre probably, but this is where I've gotten big results with people that feel stuck. Because we sabotage ourselves and think that we can't get to, the next level of what we're trying to get to in our goal. So we started off with thinking about, like, what's the best approach? What could she connect with? So we started talking about, like, what inspires her and documenting what was happening for her at that point. Instead of thinking of the negative side, we started saying, well, what's working? What inspires you? What makes you get up every day? What makes you feel like you can take that next step? Because Michaela had, like 100 pounds to lose, probably 80 pounds to lose. And so it's so easy to fall back in your journey because you're like, I don't have the momentum. I can't do it. And so that's why I'm talking about small steps that really make big changes in your body. Is if you go full force right away, it's a diet and it doesn't connect fully. So this is where she started also looking at sabotages. And I wanted to ask you today that, do you believe that you stop yourself from getting to the next level? Is there somewhere in there that you are telling yourself, and it could be literally, I do not have time, oh, I'm not worthy, and you may not notice you're doing that to yourself, so the journaling really helps. And this is where Michaela was able to reconnect and really, if you listen to video 2, we were talking about that. We came across this thing where she was not, she's a very loving person, but certain people can get her set off real easily. So we talked about, how she going to get past that, because if she still is firing up and not a very, not tapping into being loving all the time, that's going to set you off. It's going to throw things off where you're going to eat and you're going to be stressed and the whole thing. So the journey really is emotionally connecting with your journey. So from this, we were able to get her into more portion control, clearing mental sabotages, working out. So now she can work out without asthma, changing her food choices, and commitment to herself. The commitment to herself was really big because she never really connected with that before, to consistently commit to herself. And even though at this point, when she got all these results, 19 pounds lost, this is just within 5 months, 11.25 inches lost, 6% body fat, she was able to lose like 7 pant sizes. But the way that she lost the 7 pant sizes is that she had to kind of reevaluate the changes that happened to her in her body, that how she was going to get to the next level. So it's a lot to do with listening and journaling. So that's what she used to be able to step herself forward, and also just talking, using her community so that she can be talking about what's going on. Or sometimes you don't have to even say anything. Sometimes it's just that you are feeling like you have the support, and it's kind of like a quiet support. So that's like friends. It's like, in a coaching community was what we have. This is like the ultimate 5 steps to rid the body of sugar. Are you serious? Yes. So let's get into it. Reduce or eliminate caffeine. And I'll tell you why. Drink water, eat sweet vegetables and fruit, get physically active, get more sleep, rest, and relaxation. All 5 of these are so important that if you do just one, you're going to notice a shift in your cravings. So just one of these. So I'm going to be asking you today to look at this, and I'm going to actually have an arrow to one of them that I really want you to step into today. But again, the journey's individual, so I want you to really think about what's going to work for you. So 5 steps to rid the body of sugar. So drinking water is the biggest one. Most of the time when people first come in and they start working with me, I'll say, okay, so how is your water consumption? And they will tell me that they drink plenty of water. So when you start documenting and looking at how much water you're drinking, all of a sudden, most people are like, oh, I didn't realize I only drank 6 cups of water a day. Or I realized that I was drinking 8 cups of water. I thought that was enough. But then when you start realizing how much, water gets released from your body that you don't even realize, that if you're doing all this stuff where you're eating really healthy food, you want those nutrients to go through your system. You want your kidneys to be feeling good so they're not having any issues. We're going to talk about how you can tell if your kidneys are having a hard time. We're going to look at that today. And then also that you need extra water if you're going to be going for walks, if you're going to be lifting weights, running, biking, whatever that you're going to be doing. You need extra water daily, not just 8 cups. And it's individual. Again, the diagnostic tools will help you. Reduce or eliminate caffeine. Let's go back up to number 1. The caffeine cycles your body in a way that your energy goes up, and the caffeine's going to work for so long, and then you're going to fall down. Just like sugar, you're going to go up and down. It's going to make you tired, and it's going to throw your hormones off, because it's almost like borrowing from the bank. If your body is not feeling like it has enough energy and you're drinking the caffeine to keep yourself going, be very aware that your body's not feeling well and that you're borrowing from the bank because your energy isn't there. So you're really pushing your hormones to be able to excrete out from your adrenal gland to give you that positive, healthy, fast energy. But after a while, that doesn't become healthy, because that's how your midsection gets bigger and you're pushing yourself to do things that your body doesn't want to do. So it's the healing of doing new things that are going to help you with increased energy. So drinking water, of course. Number 3, eat sweet vegetables and fruit. Right now it's wintertime. It's perfect for eating those sweet vegetables. The underground vegetables, which you call food energetics, is a way to nourish your body and to keep the body calm by, eating the sweet potatoes and doing all this stuff that is sweet to help balance, because you're craving that sugar, but this is going to have fiber, and the fruit is going to have fiber also. It's a great way to balance your sugar. Get physically active. Once you get out there, you get your endorphin kick, you start balancing your blood sugar, and even like your mucus in your head, and it's draining all the time. This is going to help dry it up. And if it doesn't, get back to drinking your water. Get more sleep, rest, and relaxation. If you are craving sugar, it's because probably you haven't been getting enough sleep. So many people I know are not sleeping enough. Relaxation could be 15 minutes of meditation. It could be 2 minutes of meditation. It's just getting yourself thinking about what you need to do. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. What we just talked about above with the 5 steps in ridding your body of sugar, it's repeating stuff. It's about getting it into your system, so your system craves these new things, so that your mind craves these new things of having rest, that you don't feel guilty because you feel like you need rest, and you don't feel like you have to keep pushing yourself. So it's all the balancing tools I just gave you, and you're going to be doing that over and over. So if you see somebody in your life and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they seem so perfect, maybe I don't know, maybe people look at me like that too because of what I teach, but I'm telling you, I can easily get thrown off. I could easily do all this bad stuff, but when you make a choice and you know that this is a decision for the rest of your life, and you start looking at your tiredness, your midsection getting big, that you really see that that is an illness before your doctor tells you that you're ill. That is an illness, and that you're healing your body, and to also not think of it as I'm getting older, so I must be old, that's why I'm not feeling well. So that's another story, but I want you to tap into that. So excellence is just doing it over and over. Just do it over and over. Second case study, Colleen, 1 month. I really, really like Colleen. She was dealing with just tired, unfocused, bloated, dealing with general weakness. So that feeling where you don't feel like you want to get up in the day, when you lift something up, when you are preparing, having to stand up for a while to prepare, foods. And then she didn't have any physical balance. When she would put her leg up, her balance was way off, and she was having general aches and pains. Within 2 weeks of her making a commitment to herself, she started making changes, and she had less bloating, and she started really, just when you start looking at what you're putting in your mouth, it makes you more aware of what you're doing, and it even can make a healthy, easy shift in your body. So she was focusing on what she was eating, since it was in the front of her mind, so she was adjusting. She was drinking way more water and increased her energy level. Wonderful. And the thing I don't have on here is that she was at 176, and she was at like 181 or 180, probably 181. There was like a 5-pound fluctuation just within a couple weeks, and that can happen because you have, if we have extra inflammation, we have extra water, you can have really big shifts of weight loss in your body when you first make those changes. So it's a really, really fun journey to be in this process, because when you feel like I need to lose 40 pounds, the first month you could probably lose half of that, because you look at Colleen here. You're going to see that she is, that she's just basically bloated from just having a really stressful, her body's having a hard time. So, but within a month, that her face was looking even better, and she was still dealing with some things. You're going to learn also that dealing with some digestion stuff, as you can see here, some digestion stuff around the eyes. And but she has a business. She's a lawyer, and she was having a hard time where she couldn't even get out of bed. She would get out of bed, but she didn't want to get dressed, and then she didn't want to keep going and going all day because she didn't have a lot of energy. And you know what? When I look at Colleen, I think she's a very, very successful woman. So a lot of women that we know are successful, even ourselves, that this stuff can happen to us, and we really need to connect. And sometimes hard, but need to connect with the changes that we need to make right now, so that we can be even more successful in our business, or even more successful in your day if you're working for someone, a big business, corporate, your own business, whatever it is. You know that you always want to do great stuff in your life, and this really stops you. And she felt that this stopped her. And as we start looking at her acidity, and this is another diagnostic tool that I use, because if your body, most likely when I start testing people, if their body is in an acidity state or an alkaline state, they are almost always in this real yellow area here, because we don't really usually know how bad off we are, even though we think we may be eating healthy. But let's say we're not eating the right foods for ourselves. So later on, we're almost there, where I'm going to show you another visual diagnosis where you're going to need your mirror, and it'll be able to help you. But the acidity test is so important, because my next slide, I'll tell you why. I've worked with a couple of cancer doctors, holistic cancer doctors, and it's just incredible, because you start looking at your body just as a whole. Instead of saying my thyroid is ill, you start realizing that no, my body is ill. When you start having gallbladder stuff going on, is your gallbladder really the culprit, or is it that the cycle of energy going through and and how your gallbladder is interacting with what's happening in your body, is that struggling because other stuff is happening in your body? So the acidity testing is like one of the biggest ones that you can do, like right now, instantly. So I want you to go out there, and I know Amazon carries it, but it's a great tool to use to check on yourself. And you can test it back and forth and see, after you've had popcorn, which is actually one of the top foods that throws you into acidity, because it's just white stuff. As soon as it goes into your body, it brings your insulin level up, and bam. So it's kind of interesting to eat, even go on a detox or something, and just see yourself in the alkaline area. And then as soon as you get off, if you're not good and you jump into all the bad stuff you did before, you're going to see how fast it fluctuates into this yellow area. So this is a good diagnostic tool that you can do right now. And even though your blood tests and the x-rays are saying that you are in perfect health, I want you to take a step back and think about, do you really feel like you're in perfect health? What is stopping you from having the energy today? So it's learning the foods to be able to get you in your balance. So great diagnostic tool. Not doing so well, this is where you're doing good. So why we need it is that this will help you. So if you're eating the right foods for yourself, because since your digestion is unique, not all vegetables are going to be good for you. They might, but just to say that you're allergic to one of them. My brother used to say that he was allergic to fruit, and I used to just laugh at him and didn't even realize that, yes, there's something in the fruit, or there's something in the spray that they sprayed on the fruit that was affecting him, and he'd break out in hives and he wasn't feeling good. And this is before, it's like, well, the doctor says you're okay. And I can remember when I first started this business, that I had, you know, in my third video, I talked about that I had a client that she was just like exhausted and she had every symptom you could think of for having hypothyroidism. So she kept going to the doctor, and the doctor, I shouldn't say kept going to the doctor, but you know, throughout the years, she's going to the doctor and getting checked. And no, you're all level. No, everything is fine. And it doesn't matter. If you have all those symptoms, it means that your body are displaying those symptoms. And so why allow your thyroid to get hurt from it trying to overcompensate? Because probably at this point, if you haven't been diagnosed with having an illness of your thyroid, then that means that you have to heal your body so it doesn't hurt the organ. So think about that. Knowing that the right foods to eat is really important. It's going to help you by using the acidity strips and seeing how your body balances. The more that your digestion is working right, the quicker your body will reset itself into a really healthy state. So testing as you go along to see if you're eating right or not eating right. And then also keeps you motivated. When you have a tool to use to be able to see things fluctuate, all of a sudden you realize you have tons of control over what you're doing. And so to realize that you have control over something like this, it's a miracle, because then you can say, well, okay, so tonight I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have some couple glasses of wine, I'll have a piece of chocolate cake or something. And you go, okay, well, that's fine. And then the next couple of days, since you've been testing your acidity levels, you learn that the foods that really bounce you right back. So you go, okay, well, Saturday and Sunday or Sunday and Monday, I'm going to be eating extremely healthy in the way that is perfect for me. And you're going to start seeing your acidity level change into alkaline, and you start feeling that control that you don't have to do 100% anymore. There's no confusion why your body can't lose weight. That's the thing, is getting out of that confusion, thinking that you don't have to, that you have to wait for the doctor to tell you. Now you have the control. So Dr. Lodi is one of the cancer specialists. I used to have dinners monthly, and he was one of the ones that really supported my dinner one night. And he came in, I think he was in Shanghai. I don't even know where he was. He just travels all over the world, but he has clinics. And he knows that diabetes is on the rise. And he started talking about stuff, and he said, you know what? I don't even want to talk about cancer. I want to talk about just chronic disease in itself. Cancer is cancer, diabetes, hypertension, they have their own thing, but the cure is basically the thing that is important, which is getting your body into alkaline. That's the cure for anything. So he said, cancer cannot live in an alkaline body. So if those acidity strips are saying 6.9, 7.0, love it. Know that you're in perfect health. Keep it there. The longer you keep it there, you're safe. You're safe. Your cells are lined up. You should have no bloating. You should have no extra weight on you. At first, when you go into the alkaline, you're going to have some weight on you probably, because that's why you're here. But you're going to learn that as you keep your body into the alkaline state, your body's going to keep healing and healing itself on and on. So third case study is Samantha. Samantha was with me for 3 years, and she is one of the ladies that is just really incredible. She's been with me through and through as this business has been building, and so she has really learned a lot about herself. She's gone into coaching programs with me. She's done 2-week jump starts with me, which I'm going to actually talk to you about in the next couple of slides. But she increased her energy. She deals with her body struggling with some things, and her thyroid has been affected, so hypothyroid. She's actually even feels more organized. So if you heard in video 2, she spent 3 months in organizing her life, because when you realize that you walk by the counter and there's stuff on your counter, that it really feels like almost like your body is clogged. So this helped in her weight loss and in her stress. Also making better food choices, and then emotionally more balanced. When she made changes her original time, when she first came through, there were times when she got stuck. And so she started looking at that she needed to get her emotional connection with what she was doing. So she started looking at this. She needs to not say that she's going to do a goal, but she's going to step in there. She's going to refocus and not blow them off. If you ever felt that way, sometimes that goal is not right for you then. If you keep blowing it off, it means you haven't given it enough time. I call it like the fit process, because you want to focus, you want to integrate, and then you have that transformation that has to happen, and then you thrive. So there's kind of a process to really connect with your goal. But she also wanted to give back to her body and get herself in alignment, because she was not feeling that, over some months, she kind of got off of, really taking care of herself. And so she started backing in and saying, I need to get more in alignment. Also, she wanted to feel the calmness and the excitement again. So this is what she said right before she went into a 2-week program with me, and she did an incredible job. And what helped her also connect is the last diagnostic tool. So this is where you're going to be using your mirror, and you're going to look at your tongue. Now, if you've been listening to the videos, this is very important for you to connect with today, because if you haven't done this before, this is going to be odd, crazy for you, but I want you to step into it and think about this. When your organs are working, they don't just sit there, and they're just not stagnant. Your whole body is an energetic form of movement. And so what does that mean? How about those people that do reflexology on certain points in your body, or on your feet or your hands? You're going to be able to see right here, if your tongue is pale and it's not beautiful pink, this is where you have to start looking. This kidney, adrenal weakness, anemia, joint problems. Anemia would be that you are not eating enough leafy greens to help combat that alkaline acidity balance. Kidneys are going to be if you're not drinking enough water, if you are not drinking enough vegetables, and so your cells are way out of a healthy form. And so when the kidneys are cleansing the system, they're being pushed on because the body's inflamed, and this is how you can get kidney stones. And then adrenal weakness is that if you're not eating the foods that work for you, that your adrenal gland, which is also part of your endocrine system, which is your hormones, that your adrenal gland is going to overwork, and you're going to feel weakness. So if you have tons of energy and all of a sudden you just totally get tired and you can't get yourself back up, that's your adrenal gland not being able to give you that fight or flight, high energy back and forth from relaxing to be able to jump up and do something. And if you have that kind of issue, I did before I realized that I was hurting my body with the foods that I was eating. So look at your tongue. And you want to look in the back too, because you see the back here, a lot of the white here, that's really going into, because this is your filtration center, and this is in your intestines too, that this is really having a hard time. So you really use your food to digest what you're eating so that your body can take it in, and you can help it by the mouth starting the process. Also, with your liver and gallbladder, if your tongue is swollen, you're going to have some issues with your gallbladder. You're going to have issues with your digestion. It doesn't mean everything is going to be an issue. It means that you have to start listening to yourself, using these tools to really determine if this is something that is really happening for you. And so when you start looking at, is your tongue cracked? Well, have you been drinking enough water? Have you been taking your vitamins? Because if you're not taking your vitamins, that means that the fluids that are going through are not as healthy, because you're not having enough nutrients in your body. It's going to affect your body in a way that your cells are not going to be able to rejuvenate itself. So it's going to look dehydrated. And then this is an important one too, red tip on the bottom of the tongue here. Right on the tip there, that has to do with stress, circulation problems, and allergies, because allergies also circulation, but this is your heart too. So you want to think about that. If you have stuff running in your family that's heart stuff, then you're starting expressing those genes. I mean, if you don't ignite those genes that the problems that run in your family, then you can really combat the diseases that run in your family. But if you are doing stuff in your day-to-day stuff that really is expressing those genes and making them active, then you have to start looking at what's happening in your family. This is a swollen tongue. You can tell by the teeth with imprinted into the tongue, and you might even have it mild. So I'd look at the tongue, I'd look to see if it's shaky, because this is directly linked with liver. And then weak digestion with an expanded tongue. Purple tongue get yourself working out. Purple, circulation, get yourself working out, having poor circulation. And then red is inflammation, irritable bowel, allergies. So the tip was specific with having more liver stuff going on, but any kind of redness in itself, you need to keep track of that. So those are the diagnostic tools. And so I want to step into even learning that there's even more diagnostic tools out there. This is FitCamp, and all the stuff you've been learning and how you should be feeling is after watching these videos and hopefully you wanting some more support from me. This person said, I feel great. I feel like I can conquer the world. And this was Beverly that said this. And it was wonderful to be able to see this because she was even afraid to step into a program. And when she was going through the process, she was like crazy happy. So it was wonderful. So if you are interested, we're going to keep going through, but I'm going to pop in the display offer. And I'm going to talk about this more, but on your right side, you should have a link that you can click onto and see more about it. It should just open a new window for you. But also with FitCamp, I want you working out and I want you moving. So you're going to be instantly access into the workouts that I put together for you. So there's 10-minute workouts all the way to 40-minute workouts within just clicking and being able to work all the way through. And you get this instantly as soon as you come in. This is a 2-week jump start. This is how you reset your blood sugar through coaching. You're going to be having daily videos from me, and this is where you're also going to be getting a jump start where you have a platform and learning stuff about yourself. So with the things that we did with the tongue, and we were reviewing it to acidity testing, that all this stuff, even journaling and really listening to your sabotages, this is all FitCamp. When you are looking at different ways to look to see what else is happening to your body, this will correlate with what's happening in your tongue by starting to look at your face and learning that you can actually read on your face and other people too as time goes on what is happening for other people, but specifically what's happening for you. So you learn more about this in FitCamp. This is going to bring you into alignment with the foods that work for you even more. And as soon as you get in there, also you get a planning video and you have master grocery list and you have wonderful stuff that really supports you. But you also start connecting with being organized, because if you're not organized, then it's hard to really make a big commitment to yourself. So in the planning video, it really helps you start connecting with that, and you start really putting a schedule together, especially for working out. That's real important. But the results that you're going to be looking at is your aging factor decreased because you're going to clean out that blood to healthy balance. You're going to be eating to increase with a flat belly. It says increase to skinny, whatever your word is, really starting to tone and tighten up that body. And decrease stress factor. When you're being coached, it's a wonderful thing because you feel like, somebody else is in it with me. Oh, I have this great community, which also means that you have a private Facebook group so that you have the extra support. So realizing that I can feel satisfied by eating so simply and clean, finishing a meal and not feeling bloated. Beverly. Informative, fun to hear other people's struggles and accomplishments. Jennifer Perfler. So this is really related with community. Thank you for educating me on making healthy choices and explaining how that makes me feel fit, healthy, and better capable of taking care of myself. Anytime you work with me, you're going to be feeling smarter than when you came in. There's a lot of things you're going to learn about yourself. So I want you to make a decision. Is this a spot for you? It goes every Monday, every month, and it's a 2-week process with me. You have your option of going in February 9th and being with me for 2 weeks then, or March 19th or March 9th. Both of those months line up. And what you will learn is the stuff that we talked about in the video, to being able to be coached and be physically moving forward because of the motivation you get, because of the group support that you get, of the community, people that are struggling just like you, people that have celebrations that help you celebrate in your time, and you're going to learn that celebration is very important and not to brush under the rug or however you would say that. So I want you to click the link that I gave you on the side if it showed up in your panel. If not, if you have your Power Playbook on the last page, you just click that link and it opens up for you. So where you're going is rhondaliebig.com. FitCamp Flat Belly. So you have a couple links there, or you can type that in. But I want you to really focus in on the stuff that you learned and how it's so simple to make these changes. And as you work with a coach for just 14 days, how much faster it moves you, how much more it helps you clear out those sabotages, and how much more you realize that you're pretty normal. Sometimes we think that our issues are just about, us, and we kind of get wrapped into, oh, poor me. But you learn that there's people that are dealing sometimes with even more things than even you. So it's a really wonderful journey to go through and spend time with people that are just like you, people that are dealing with the same thing you are. If you're listening to this in recording, this offer will be out there for 2 days. I'll keep it out there for 48 hours. 48 hours. And so this normally is $197, and then for 48 hours I'm going to have it out there for you, and it's going to be $57. $57. That's like no reason to question that. You're going to really be getting great big results. I'm a really intense coach and help you focus and really get you focused on the sabotages that are stopping you. So if this is for you, click the link, step in, and you really enjoy all the information you got out of this series. And I love putting it together. And you have a wonderful day. I'm going to be catching up with you soon. I have another workshop coming up in next week if you want to be listening to more of this, kind of help you get yourself set. And just kind of think about what's your next steps. What's the next steps? All right. You have a fit day. I'll catch up with you soon.